What is going on, everybody? It is me again. It's HorrorFan34, and welcome to another video. And I promised you guys that after I did my top 10 favorite horror remakes, that I would do my top 10 least favorite horror remakes. So now here's that list. And my oh my, I don't own any of these films, by the way. Just letting you know that. Because these 10 films I'm going to mention are awful when it comes to horror remakes. I mean, I guess we'll just get on to the list, because I just have it on my phone here on the list. So, let's get into it, shall we? Okay. There was a couple of them that I could have put on here, like the Martyrs remake, but these are these top 10, in my opinion, are the worst ones for me. Number 10, of course, starting off with this one, Day of the Dead, from 2008. You talk about just an insult to the original classic by George Romero. This one literally sums it up in two words: vegetarian zombies. There are literally zombies that are vegetarians in this film. And this is directed by Steve Miner, of all people. This is the same guy that did House, Friday the 13th Part 2 and 3. I think he did Lake Placid as well. And then this film, all those films are much better than this. I thought it had horrible special effects, like I said, the vegetarian zombies. And I just think the cast in here just was not as good as the original Day of the Dead. I mean, the original Day of the Dead, you had Terry Alexander, Laurie Cordell, Joe Polito, may he rest in peace, Gary Clark, may he rest in peace, Howard Sherman, who played Bub. I mean, in this one, I like Ving Rhames, I like Mina Suvari, Nick Cannon, but it was just not a good movie. I just don't understand what was even the point of making it. Number 9 is actually a remake of a horror film, and I actually talked about this when I talked about the documentary, but number 9 is The Island of Dr. Moreau. Just all the stuff that happened behind the scenes with this film. This is actually a remake, I think, because it was remade. The book was made into a film, I think, in the 70s, and then they remade it again in 96 with Marlon Brando and Val Kilmer. And just go watch my review of the documentary itself, which is called The Lost Soul, which is the doomed journey of the Island of Dr. Moreau, and Richard Stanley's interviewed on there, who was going to direct the film, and then all kinds of problems. It was really a film that just turned out to be just directionless. It didn't really seem like it wanted to be dark or wanted to be comical. Like, you had some ridiculous scenes here and there. It just didn't seem like it didn't know where the film or it didn't. It just had no direction to it. Marlon Brando just was off. Val Kilmer was just clearly so he didn't care. Same with Marlon Brando. Fairuza Balk is okay in the film. I like seeing Mark Dacascos, Ron Perlman, but just go watch the documentary or go watch my review of the documentary and just listen to the behind-the-scenes production of that one. Number 8 is The Stepfather from 2009. Ironically enough, the same director of this film also directed another horror remake that's actually on this list, which I'll get to. But I just don't remember a damn thing about this film. Just go watch the original classic in 1987 with Terry O'Quinn and Joseph Rubin, who directed the original film. Terry O'Quinn was the perfect choice for The Stepfather in the original. This one, though, it's just very forgettable. I hardly remember the damn movie. But I knew it was pretty bad. Number 7, Black Christmas from 2019. I'm actually one of the few people that actually do enjoy the 2006 Black Christmas remake, but for me personally, the best Black Christmas will always be the original classic by Bob Clark. Love that film a lot. It's definitely one of my favorite horror films from the 70s. Definitely one of my favorite films, period, from the 70s. Love the cast in that one. Andrea Martin and Margot Kidder and Olivia Hussey. good cast of people, very well directed by Bob Clark, and I enjoy the remake for what it is in 2006. Like, I like the cast. I like Mary Elizabeth Winstead, and Andrea Martin from the original was actually in that one too. You had Lacey Chabert from Mean Girls in there. A pretty interesting backstory of how they tell the backstory of the killer. It's pretty gross what some of the stuff he does, especially to his parents. This one, though, and it's gory, it's fun, it's just entertaining, and just over-the-top gore. So I enjoy Black Christmas from 2006 quite a bit. This one, though, should not even be called Black Christmas because it has nothing to do with the title. Because it's not like the same thing as the original one and the one from 2006. It's not the sorority house of girls. It deals more with this school and this cult and like, no, I have nothing to say about the Black Christmas remake. There's some things I just don't have any words to say on this film, except for like the few which I'll get into. Number 6 is The Omen from 2006. This should have been called Xerox the Movie, because all they did was they took the original The Omen and shot it scene by scene, word for word. That's pretty much what they did. They took the original film, copied it, and they just put different actors in it with a different director. And the original, I'm not really a guy. The Omen is not really one of those horror films I watch too much. I never really got into the Omen films, to be honest. I was kind of more into like The Exorcist, The Exorcist 3 when it comes to like possession movies, like devil movies. But the original Omen is a pretty good flick. I just never really was into the Omen films as like The Exorcist, but I still enjoyed the Omen. I love the original with Gregory Peck. Directed by the late great Richard Donner. This one, directed by John Moore, who did Max Payne, A Good Day to Die Hard. And, and I like Julia Stiles, I like Mia Farrow and Liev Schreiber, but it's just a Xerox. That's pretty much what it is. I mean, it's really hard to talk about something that's kind of a Xerox. And there was just like no substance to the remake of The Omen. Number 5, A Nightmare on Elm Street. This had to be in my top 5. I'm a huge fan, of course, of the original classic Elm Street with Robert Englund. I just thought Jackie Earle Haley was kind of doing a really bad impression of a mixture of Christian Bale's Batman and Heath Ledger's Joker. Just like the way he would say lines, this won't hurt one little bit. It was kind of like he was doing like the Christian Bale Batman voice mixed with a little bit of Heath Ledger's Joker. And the cast in here is awful. I did not care for Rooney Mara as the lead. I mean, the original Elm Street just had a much better cast. Robert Englund was great as Freddy. Heather Langenkamp. I mean, Ronnie Blakely, Amanda Wyss, Johnny Depp. Thinking about who else. Even Lynn Shay in a small role. Mimi Craven. Just a far better cast in the original Elm Street. And very well directed by Wes Craven. I just think Samuel Bayer, who directed this, just did a pretty poor job with directing the film. And I just think none of the cast was good. I like Jackie Earle Haley from Watchmen and many other movies, but he was not the right choice for Freddy. And honestly, I think he should have been given a better direction of how to play the character. But number 4 is Prom Night. Welcome back, director, because the director of this film did the Stepfather remake as well. He also did this film, Prom Night. Easily one of the worst remakes I've ever seen when it comes to like PG-13 slashers. And I'm not really... And I like the original Prom Night with Jamie Lee Curtis, but it's not a Jamie Lee Curtis film I rewatch a lot. I kind of gravitate more towards Halloween 2, Halloween H2O, or Terror Train, or Road Games, or The Fog, or things like that when it comes to Jamie Lee Curtis horror films. But I like the original Prom Night. I actually like I like the second one the best, though, Mary Lou Prom Night 2. I like that one the best out of the Prom Night films. And I like Leslie Nielsen too in the original, and very well directed too. But I forget the director's name at the moment. But this one though, I mean, everybody knows how bad this Prom Night remake is. I mean, what more can be said? Number 3, Rob Zombie's Halloween. This is what I was talking about when I was talking about in my best remakes with Jason, Friday the 13th being on my best list. They did something with Jason that was good. They didn't mess up the character or disrespect the character. I feel like in this film they disrespected the character of Michael Myers. They made him white trash, trailer park trash. Every single word is F this, F that, and shit, and ass, and piss, and F this. Oh, what the F you doing? Things like that. It's just... Do we really need this in a Halloween movie? And I just didn't care for the cast. Like, I didn't, it was cool to see people like, Dee Wallace and Brad Dourif and Bill Moseley and Sid Haig, may God rest his soul. And I like William Forsythe as well, but I just don't like the way that they made Michael Myers' backstory. I thought it was just not the right way to do it. Trailer park trash, and it was. I can't tell you what's worse, that or making Michael Myers cry in Halloween 5. I can't really tell you what's more worse. I say they're both equally just as bad as each other, to be honest. Number 2. Excuse me, that's a burp. That's a perfect example for this film. The Fog. Speaking of The Fog, I just talked about that when it was Jamie Lee Curtis. This film, considered by many people to be one of the worst horror remakes ever, can't blame them. Watch the film for yourself, and if you think I'm making it up, watch the film. Tom Welling and Maggie Grace are your 2 leads. Here's what you... Look at the original Fog. Who do you have in the original Fog? Tom Atkins, Jamie Lee Curtis, Hal Holbrook, may he rest in peace. I'm trying to think. Tom Atkins, Jamie Lee Curtis, Hal Holbrook, Janet Leigh, Adrienne Barbeau, John Carpenter directing it. Wonderful musical score, creepy atmosphere, great characters in the film, great actors. And it's a great character piece too, because each actor in that film gets their moment to shine. It's like an ensemble piece. Like Janet Leigh gets to shine, Tom Atkins, Adrienne Barbeau, Jamie Lee Curtis, Hal Holbrook. Like everybody gets to shine in that film. Yeah, Charles Cyphers from the original Halloween's in there too, another good actor. This one though, what more can you say about this film that has not been said? And of course, my number 1 worst horror remake of all time is... You want to get a shower? Go take a shower. That was my impression of Vince Vaughn's Norman Bates in the Psycho remake. You talk about this is one of the most pointless films, not just pointless like remakes, just like pointless films, period, in history. What was the point of making an exact copy in color of the original Psycho? I thought Vince Vaughn was poorly miscasted as Norman Bates. The cast is and Anne Heche, I'm sorry, she's no Janet Leigh. I like Julianne Moore, William H. Macy. It's hard to believe that... God damn, I'm allergic to bullshit. But Gus Van Sant, the guy that did Go Will Hunting with Matt Damon and Robin Williams. Why this film? All this film is a Xerox, shot for shot, line for line, in color with different actors, but just with different actors, a different director, and a few little scenes here and there that are changed. Wow. Okay, I think I've said enough. There wasn't much to say about this film. There wasn't much praising. So that's it for my top 10 least favorite horror remakes. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.